What we are announcing today is the following. For all Victorian parents, for all Victorian families, you will be getting an extra 30 days of allowable absences. So that means if you're not in a position to be able to send your child to care, you can use those absences. Providers can waive the gap fee, so there will be no cost to you for keeping your child enrolled while you can't access childcare for the next 30 days. So that's 30 days additional allowable absences on the 42 already on top of the 42 days we've already allocated for that. So that means parents who have to keep their children at home can do so and can do so without cost because we're asking providers to waive the gap fee. And I would say to parents, please keep your children enrolled. It won't cost you anything to do so, but it means as we come out of this pandemic, those positions will be there for you at your childcare centre. So once you go back to work, the position's there, it's available to you, and it means it'll be much more seamless for you to be able to get back to work once we've got through this pandemic. Now, for regional and rural Victoria, we will also be putting in place the same arrangements for outside school hours care that we did for metropolitan Melbourne and for the Mitchell Shire. So they will get access to those provisions which were provided for metropolitan Melbourne and for Mitchell Shire. Now, for Melbourne providers, what we will be doing is we will be providing them with a top-up payment of 5% on top of the 25% transition payment that they are already receiving. We will also be putting in place for those services who have an average childcare subsidy rate of less than 50%, who see a reduction in their enrolments, a reduction in their attendance to below 30%, they will get top-up payments between 10% and 25%. What this means overall is that services, on average, will be getting revenue based on the pre-COVID fortnight, on average between 80 to 85%. All up, what it means is the PM has said this morning that we are providing a triple guarantee. For those parents who can't send their children to care, there will be no cost to them. They'll be able to keep their child enrolled. For those early childhood educators, we continue to have the employment guaranteed in place. And in my consultations with the sector, they have said that they want to send a very strong message. They want to support the early childhood workforce through this pandemic because they understand how important those workers will be once we come out of this pandemic. And then also what we're doing is we're providing certainty through keeping the childcare subsidy on and available for providers. We understand that they will get the financial guarantee that they need to keep their services open through this pandemic. And we want those services to remain open. So those people who are permitted to work can get access to early childhood care and education. And for those who can't at this moment, but when we get through this pandemic, that they'll immediately be able to get access to the care that they need, and there will be continuity of care for their children. Can I once again thank the sector, thank those early childhood educators, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Minister Dan here. Just before I ask the question, can I just ask my colleagues to mute their phones just so that audio doesn't come through on the feed? Minister, for parents, will they be able to transition to these 30-day absences? Will there be no red tape for them to keep their kids enrolled?
What we'll be doing, we'll be bringing these measures in place as of tomorrow, so they will start on Thursday, and they will be able to keep their children enrolled, and it will not cost them because the gap fee will be waived by providers. So this is incredibly important. We want those parents to keep their children enrolled because we know once we come out of this pandemic, they will need the care for their children so that they can go back to work. So we want to keep the services open, and we've been successful in doing that right through this pandemic. Over 99% of services remained open. And we want parents to keep their children enrolled. They're two absolutely crucial things that are central to the design of what we're doing.